going to call our November board meeting. Woo! November board meeting to order. Declaration of a quorum, 7 members present. Welcome to this meeting of the College Station ISD Board of Trustees. We were elected at large to represent the interests of our community and our state in educating our students. Our mission for our students in this district is success each life, each day, each hour. We adhere to all pertinent laws, policies, and procedures in posting agendas and conducting our meetings. The detailed agenda information was made available to us at least 72 hours in advance, and we have all come to this meeting informed and prepared. We've just completed a workshop meeting where we heard reports and discussed much of the information needed to make decisions in either this meeting or in upcoming meetings. This is a meeting of the 7 trustees in a public setting rather than a public meeting. As such, public comment is included on the agenda at a specific time and requires us to listen rather than take action so as to abide by the Open Meetings Act. We are pleased that you have taken time this evening to join us. We are very proud of this school district. We thank you for your interest in and support of our students. That will bring us to item C, recognitions. Mr. Martindale.
Thank you, Mr. White, and board members. You guys will join us around front. We'll begin our meeting with our pledges and our moment of silence. And we have students here from College Hills and Pebble Creek that are going to help us out with this evening. Our principals, Ms. Blair Grande and Josh Hatfield. So I don't know if you are introducing. I bet the students are introducing themselves.
They are.
Come on up, guys.
Good evening, everyone. I am Blair Grande, the very proud principal of Pebble Creek Elementary, and I have 2 fabulous Panthers who are going to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Ellie Kiesling.
I'm Lincoln Noble, and I'm 9 years old, and I go to Pebble Creek Elementary. I'm in 4th grade, and some of the things I enjoy are sports, basketball, and history. My favorite thing about Pebble Creek Elementary is how they make morning assembly, where we do all the morning announcements, so fun. It's funny how they do all these crazy songs and videos, and it's really enjoyable.
I'm in 4th grade as well. I'm 9 years old, and a couple things I love about Pebble Creek are that they have choir again, and they have Stu Co, which is student council. There's a bunch of meetings every month. Yeah, about every month. So, and wait. Some of my interests are swimming and annoying my brother.
Nice, love that. All right, welcome. I'm Josh Hatfield, very proud principal of College Hills Elementary. And this morning I brought a couple of our Tigerific Tiger Cubs here with us this morning, Addie Kelly and Jason Hernandez, and they're going to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Addie, and I'm an avid ambassador in College Hills, and the one thing I love about being an avid ambassador is greeting my friends and opening car doors.
Hello, my name is Jason Hernandez. I'm a Team Roar member, and one thing I love about Team Roar is making projects to welcome new students.
Everybody, can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Salute. We're going to do it together. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now for the Texas flag. On Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Now for the moment of silence. Thank
you. Wait, guys, stay for a picture. Round of applause for our students. They did a wonderful job. Absolutely.
Okay, okay.
Wait, whoa, 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 whoa.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, guys. Wonderful job. Mr. Horak, we'll move to C2. We have some student recognitions tonight from our college board. Mr. Glenwickle is going to assist us. And students, as Mr. Glenwickle calls your name, if you will meet me on the far side, receive your certificate, and that'll be a photo op for you as well. And if you will take a moment and let the board congratulate you and shake their hand. So, Mr. Glenwickle.
Thank you, Mr. Martindale, Mr. Horak, members of the board, and our distinguished guests. It is my honor to recognize more students who excelled on college entrance exams. In addition to the National Merit semifinalists and student recognized with a letter of commendation from the National Merit Scholarship Program, 41 students were presented a National Scholar Award from the College Board. The College Board National Recognition Program Scholars, based on academic achievements and outstanding performance on the PSAT and their AP exams. These students are recognized in the categories of National African American Scholar, National Hispanic Scholar, and National Indigenous Scholar. The College Board National Recognition Program create pathways to college for underrepresented students by awarding them academic honors and connecting them with universities across the country. When I call your name, please come forward to be recognized by the board. Famisukan Adisamoye. Alexa Ayala. Madison Birmingham. Naomi Bonatti. Kenjiro Cabrera. Jordan Carter. Jordan. Sean Castillo. Elizabeth Castro. Heaven Ford. Valeria Gallego. Fernanda Garcia Avalos. Sofia Gareba. Cedric Gonzalez. Abraham Guillen. Casey Hawkins. Celista Hernandez. Alan Kochmild. Augustine Leopez Saborio. Ethan Levy. Angelina Lopez. Rosemarie Marden. Gabriela Mendoza.
sorry, that's Gabriel Mendoza. Felicia Morales. Elizabeth Morton. Anya Patel. Jaden Patel. Sydney Perez. Maya Quiros. Angel Rangel. Ricardo Salias. Luke Salmon. Hannah Sanchez Ausick. Leanna Schubert. Emily Schaefer. Noah Sherman. Nicholas Stack. Rafael Tejada. Abigail Tesfa-Michael. Waylon Trejo. Anthony Vasquez. And Kentaro Yamauchi. Congratulations to these students, but also this is a family award. This takes lots of time and effort throughout the year. So if you're a family member of one of these students, please rise also and be recognized. Mr. Martindale, that concludes our recognitions for this evening.
All right, that'll bring us to item C3. We'd like to recognize the artwork there at the back of our boardroom. Those are from the kiddos there at College Hills and Pebble Creek Elementary Schools. So make sure you take a look at those and see the talents that we have across our district, especially at those two schools. That'll bring us to item D, board reports. Anyone want to start us off?
Okay, I'll go first. I have two. First, the exciting one. Tomorrow is Education Foundation Grant Patrol. So I know a number of us will be out there doing that. It's a very fun half a day out at all the schools because every campus will be getting a teacher grant this year, and there'll be 64 total grants totaling over $300,000, $302.88 or $302,000. There we go. Which also is a milestone. I'm reporting that now, when those are awarded, that'll be over $2 million in teacher grants that the Education Foundation has awarded over the years of its existence. So that's a very exciting day tomorrow. And then my other one is SHAC, met last night. And I think you mentioned last time that SHAC is kind of regrouping a little bit this year, working on redoing actually creating some bylaws. We're not sure there are any official bylaws. I mean, there are some rules that govern it based on policy, but want to get some more specific bylaws, and then also really working to expand participation, and particularly with our parents. SHAC is required to be 50% parents on that committee, and we have not had quite that participation over the last year. So working with the PTOs and the campuses, you guys out there helping us hopefully to recruit some parents from hopefully even all of our schools that are interested in being part of that Health Advisory Committee. So we talked about that part last night, and then we also got a really great update on our counselors from Ms. Ahmad from College Station High School, just kind of giving us a picture of what they've seen from the counselors over the last few months at the different campuses, and the things that they're dealing with that maybe our SHAC would need to kind of address. Some of them are the normal stuff, but it changes a little bit by grade level. And I think that it was nice she ended on one positive, that there are obviously lots of issues that our counselors are dealing with on a regular basis, but we have a great team out there, and that also there just seems to be more of an acceptance from the students and the parents to really come to the counselors and open up when they do have issues, right? Bring those forward. So that was a nice positive way to end that presentation. So those are my updates.
Okay, I will report for Head Start Policy Council. Last month they had their multicultural event at CSISD, and they had over 400 people attend. So that's pretty good. Lots of learning, lots of mingling, lots of participation. Always happy to hear those kinds of numbers. And then intergovernmental, do you want me to do that one? Okay. And we met yesterday with Intergovernmental Committee, and we heard a report on an update on Rellis campus, all the new things that are out there, all the money that's out there, and opportunities. It's really cool. And I myself have not been out to Rellis, but I think I need to make a trip. I need to find an excuse to get out there, because it sounds pretty cool.
Don't wander off in a restricted area.
Right. Although I mean, yeah.
The District Education Improvement Council met last Wednesday. It was nice and refreshing to have Dr. Perry report for the superintendent. Nice and concise. Under 2 minutes, might I add. And then we did the District Education Improvement Progress Report, which was very similar if you were at the workshop, review of that. And then we continued calendar work with Ms. Parkerson, with hopefully, as presented in the workshop, that we will send it out to the community and parents and families to vote on. And then hopefully the board will take action in January on the 2023-24 calendar.
PAC did not meet. Was that concise enough for you?
No.
Okay.
You shouldn't have spoken.
Anything else? Let it be noted, we will hold Mr. Hall to 5 seconds on his reports from here on out. That'll bring us to superintendent report. Mr. Martindale, follow that.
Take as long as you need.
I have nothing. Thank you, Mr. White. No, I want to start first by taking just a moment to make sure and express our appreciation as a district, and I know that all of our employees in our school district will echo this, our appreciation and how grateful we are for the support of the taxpayers in this community in approving the TRE last November. And the revenue generated from the passage of that TRE will be passed on to our employees through increased compensation. They have all received communication about how we will move through December and January and make those adjustments. But you don't have a strong school district without the support of a strong community, and you don't have a strong community without a strong school district. So we're just very appreciative for their support and do not take that lightly. And that will continue to drive us and motivate us in the future to do the very best to serve our community and the children of it. So again, thank you to our taxpayers for their support in passing the TRE. Also, earlier workshop, we heard from our demographer, which provided us our fall update. We'll take that information, utilize local policy FC at the December meeting to, again, take those enrollment projections. The demographer provides us a 10-year projection. We'll utilize 5 years and apply that to our facilities. That information helps us plan for the future and any needs that we may need or adjustments we may need as we look out into the upcoming years. Also, later on the agenda, we'll be asking board's approval and consent. Actually, this is not consent. It'll be under facilities. The purchase or approval of some work to our security vestibules at our elementary and intermediate schools. That's a part of our November 21 bond where we had some funds earmarked for safety. So that's something we're looking forward to get moving on with that particular agenda item. As Mr. Hall mentioned, and this was in workshop as well, DEIC has begun work on 23-24 calendar. We'll be looking for community and stakeholder feedback in December and hope to bring something to the board to consider as early as January. And as Ms. McAdams mentioned, and congratulations to Ms. Benton and her group for meeting and exceeding that $2 million marker in teacher grants. That's a huge accomplishment, and thank you very much and your team, and of course, support of the community in making that happen. So just a few items or celebrations. Again, you probably know, and I believe we'll have this group at the next board meeting for recognition, but the vet science team from Consol finished second in the nation. So kudos to the folks, that's second in the nation, not state or region, that's in the nation. Congratulations to those folks. The cross-country team, the girls cross-country team from College Station High School finished third, the bronze medal in Round Rock a few weekends ago. Last Wednesday, we did have 13 of our student athletes sign letters of intent to continue to compete at the collegiate level. And good luck to both Tiger and Cougar football that continues in the second round of playoffs this next Friday. So lots of great stuff going on. Our kids continue to accomplish things throughout in all arenas of the school district. So.
All right. That'll bring us to item E, hearing of citizens. Do we have any cards? No cards today. That'll bring us to item F, consent agenda. Those items will be item G, item J1 through J7. And that is all.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Hall, a second by Dr. Payne. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. That'll bring us to item H. H1, receive a report on the 21-22 birth to 5 Head Start self-assessment for College Station ISD. Mr. Martineau.
Thank you, Ms. Horak and board members. We have our Director of Early Education, Ms. Shelley Rice here to present us with it's our monthly program report, but it's a required annual report from birth to 5 Head Start. So she's going to provide us an overview, a program overview. All of this information she's fixing to share with you is really from the self-assessment. So after she provides the program report, then I know on H2, the next agenda item, she'll be asking for formal board approval of that self-assessment. So with our program report, Shelley.
Okay. Mr. Horak, Mr. Martinell, the rest of the board, thank you for giving me this opportunity to share our self-assessment from last year. Tonight, I'm going to just go over a brief description of our program, the scope, the budget, and staffing, major goals that we have in our program, some performance data, some challenges, some opportunities, and finally end with some celebrations. Our Birth to 5 Head Start program is federally funded through the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Our Early Head Start program serves 70 families, birth to age 3, and also includes expectant mothers. Our campus-based Head Start program is for 221 families, and we serve children ages 3 to 5 in campus-based Head Start. To be eligible for our Head Start or Early Head Start programs, the family must meet the Health and Human Services poverty guidelines, and we do have priority eligibility for certain families. If a child is in foster care, a family receives public assistance like SSI, TANF, SNAP, or if a family is homeless. Our budget for last year was $2.9 million, a little over that. In federal funding, we had $2,326,262, and our non-federal funds, or our federal match, was almost $575,000, and those are in-kind services provided by the district. Also, additional funds that we got last year, we had funds from the American Rescue Plan of almost $350,000. We had COVID funds from the Office of Head Start of $87,852, and we were awarded a transportation grant of $240,000. This is an overview of our staff. We have 6 Early Head Start parent educators that go into the homes and work with the families, 13 Head Start teachers and 13 Head Start teaching assistants, 6 Head Start family advocates that work directly with families and act kind of in a social work capacity. We also, in early education services, have 14 pre-K teachers and 14 pre-K teaching assistants. At the Barbara Bush Center, we have 2 Early Head Start staff members that work there. And in our central office, we have 4 education support staff members and 7 education specialists here, early education specialists, and 1 director. And the number of students we were able to serve last year, in Head Start, we were able to serve 247. Early Head Start was 94 families with 10 expectant mothers. And we had 30 students that were on the waiting list at the end of the year. And typically students on our waiting list are 3-year-olds where there was not a spot available for them, or a family that requested a certain campus where there may not have been a spot available during the year. And there's a federal mandate that 10% of our enrollment must be students with special needs. And last year we were able to serve 33 students, which is 13% of our program enrollment. And in pre-K we served 269 students. Now just a quick look at our 2 goals that we have. Our first goal is children will show improved academic outcomes through consistent and on-time attendance at school and home visits. And this aligns with the CSISD Strategic Design Goal 3 of that we will enrich student school experiences by strengthening relationships between students, staff, and families. And one of the expected outcomes has to deal with students being on their home campus. So we want to increase the percentage of students served on their zone campus by 5% each year. And you can see in the 3 years that we've been tracking this data, we've been able to meet that goal with last year, 80% of our students were located on their home campus. And another expected outcome that deals with attendance is we want to have a program average monthly attendance of 90% or greater. And last year, Head Start's average daily attendance was 81%, and home visit completion rate for early Head Start was 77%. Another outcome for family engagement is we would like 75% of our families to participate in program activities. And we had 59% of Head Start and 51% of early Head Start families that were able to participate in family engagement opportunities. And goal 2 is children will be school ready at their time of transition into campus-based Head Start and into kindergarten. And this aligns with the district strategic design goal 2 of we will elevate academic outcomes of historically underperforming student groups. And since 100% of our students are in the low income student group, low socioeconomic, our programs serve 100% of students in the historically underperforming student groups. Goal 2 deals with instructional. We'll start with the instructional part. Head Start has program performance standards that we must follow, and this one deals with we have to have a scientifically research-based curriculum, and our teachers and staff must be trained on that curriculum, and it must meet the Head Start Early Learning Outcomes Framework, and it also has to meet the TEA High Quality Pre-K guidelines. And in 2021, at the end of the year, we adopted a new curriculum, and we were able to implement that last year. So our teachers are implementing that with fidelity, and they were trained all together by the curriculum, the people that created the curriculum, and it meets all the high quality pre-K standards and Head Start standards. And another program performance standards is that we must implement a research-based coaching model that aligns with our school readiness goals, curricula, and approaches to staff development. And so last year, our Head Start staff received 224 hours of coaching and/or mentoring from our educational and instructional specialists. And here we have some data that is from our progress monitoring that we do 3 times a year. And the expected outcome is that we want 75% of Head Start students to be on track at the end of the year in phonological awareness. And we have 4 years of data here because we wanted to show the students pre-COVID, and then the 2 years in the middle are the COVID years, and the last one is last year when we started to come back. And you can see that we're not back up to where we were pre-COVID, but at the beginning of last year, we had 50% that were on track in phonological awareness, and by the end, you can see 76% were on track. So it's you know, we met the goal in that. And the same outcome by the end of the year for math is we have the same 4 years of data, and you can see there wasn't as much gain last year from beginning of the end of the year, but we did show gain. And we, again, you know, are trying to get back up to the pre-COVID numbers. Just a few challenges that our program has is that we may never be 100% of students on their home campus because they're centralized special education programs and bilingual programs that determined what campus the students are placed on. And program attendance and family engagement participation were affected with waves of illness throughout the year. And our youngest students missed a significant amount of social and emotional interactions before they enrolled in school as 3 and 4 year olds. due to the pandemic. And opportunities. One of the things that was mentioned to us in our review from the federal government was we needed a parenting curriculum that was aligned with what was being taught in our classrooms. And we have been able to implement that parenting curriculum that ties the social and emotional learning being taught in the classrooms with what we teach the parents to use in the home. We're providing staff training on language development, phonological awareness, and social emotional learning. And we're building connections with families and the community to help increase parent engagement and things like our family culture night. And to finally end with some celebrations, we had no findings from the program review from the Office of Head Start program-wide, so that was great. We were able to add a bilingual counselor to help serve the mental wellness needs of our Spanish-speaking students and their families. And family engagement activities reopened on the campus and on a district level. So that's really big for us. And so, any comments or questions? Anything?
I do have two questions.
Okay.
First, you gave us the numbers, and are you seeing a decline in the number of students applying or the number of students that you're serving?
We are not. We are actually seeing an increase.
Okay, because with the demographer earlier, they said that we're seeing a decline in the kindergarten, but not with this.
We are not.
With your program.
We have maintained an enrollment of between the three programs of about 500.
Wow.
For the last couple of months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good. And then my next question, actually, you usually ask this kind of question, but I'm gonna ask it tonight. If we had a magic wand.
Mm-hmm.
If we had a magic wand, because we've talked about.
Uh-oh, here we go.
I know we've talked about the home
Think this
campus.
through, Miss Rice.
Right, I know.
I know. I'm trying. I'm not gonna set her up for anything. We've talked about. I was like.
Right.
Okay, I am. So we've talked about the home campus being important, but have you guys talked about if it would be beneficial to have like an early Head Start campus that all of Head Start could be on, and if we had a magic wand?
Yes, the magic wand lottery winning ticket.
I mean, is it something that would be helpful? Is that?
Ms. Rice, did someone else ask you that question not too long ago?
It must have been the great superintendent that we have in this district.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
He's top-notch
Yeah.
director.
Yeah. Okay. Hey. So I mean that would be something that would
I think
be
it would
beneficial for
benefit
your
children
program.
and families and campuses and all around. It would be a great idea.
Okay, because I just started thinking about that.
It's worth a conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the work that you do is so very important, and I don't think people understand the importance of it for the students, but not just the students, but for the parents, for the families. My mom taught pre-K for 30-something years, and she always said that her favorite part about it was interacting with the parents and teaching the parents as well. And I don't know if people realize how much, you talked about it tonight, but I don't know if people realize how much of that there is. And I thank you for that.
Yeah, we had a core group of families that came to 6 weeks of parenting classes at Creekview
wow.
Elementary of 20 to 30 families, so it was really great.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'll follow up on that. Obviously, it's such an important part of our school district. I love that you linked it to our strategic goals. because obviously you are just a huge tie into that goal too, specifically. It really starts there with the babies and their families. I have two questions. One, I just want to make sure I clarify, because I know there's changes over the last few years about pre-K. All pre-K falls under you and Head Start? Is that?
It is. We are in the Early Education Services Department. Yes.
And so all of that money is also part of that 2.3?
No.
No, that's
pre-K is state funded.
Okay.
Through the general fund.
Okay, just want to clarify that. I thought so. So that was one. That I think I've kind of asked this before. I always, when I see that waiting list, right, and it's, what did you say, 30 or something like that? How do we get rid of the waiting list? What do you need to get rid of the waiting list and have more kids in the
We
program?
need Head Start to give us more money for more slots.
How does that happen?
That's what, we rewrite our grant every 5 years, and we have one more year in this grant, and we could ask, but again, it comes down to space. Where would we put those 30X, that's 2 classrooms of 3-year-olds. And so if we had an early education center, maybe we could fit them. But our campuses are getting full, you know.
No, but that's good to know. Good. Yeah. Okay.
Again, that's just to remind us all, that's federal funds.
For Head Start, yes. And those 30 on the waiting list, the majority are 3-year-olds, and they can only be served in Head Start. We do not serve 3-year-olds in pre-K.
Exactly, right. Oh, no, it's great. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah.
I think you're staying up there anyway.
Yes.
But that'll bring us to H2, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the 21-22 birth to 5 Head Start self-assessment for College Station ISD. Do I just swing it to her?
Yeah, Shelley, anything, I kind of mentioned it before you started your report, but anything you want to share on, the assessment information was
Yeah, it was
incorporated in your
presented
report,
in a full report, it's linked to the agenda.
and it's a requirement for your program. The
Yes.
board has to approve the self-assessment.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And so it's or they do that? Okay.
I move to approve the Birth to 5 Head Start Program 2021-2022 self-assessment.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Nolan, a second by Mr. Ben. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shelley.
That will bring us to item I1, consideration, discussion, and possible action related to teacher incentive allotment fees for local designation of teachers to be paid to the Texas Education Agency at the required rate of $500 per teacher, not to exceed a total amount of $90,000, and to be reimbursed to CSISD upon approval of the district's TIA system. Mr. Martindale.
Thank you, Mr. Horak and board members. With additional information on this agenda item is Chief Administrative Officer and Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Molly Perry.
Thank you, Mr. Martindale, Mr. Horak, members of the board. As I prepared for this evening's item requesting your approval of the payment of these fees, I realized that it has been almost 3 years since we began the discussion here in College Station ISD about teacher incentive allotment. In February of 2020, we first really just opened it up to talk a little bit about what we knew about the new legislative action related to TIA. And so it has been quite a journey so far, and we are not quite there yet. So before I ask for your action on this item, we're going to do a quick overview of our teacher incentive allotment system and where we are in that process, as well as what is next. So as you may recall, this was part of House Bill 3, I believe in the 86th legislative session, and the intent of this particular initiative was to provide a way for the most high-performing teachers, especially those in rural and high-poverty schools, to earn additional compensation. So there's 2 ways that can happen. One is for a teacher to earn a national board certification, and that's something that we have advertised to our teachers, and we've in fact gotten some systems in place to help support them through that process, because it is relatively arduous and takes generally a few years to do. That does result in an automatic recognized designation. You can also develop your own local system, and in that system, a teacher could achieve 3 different levels of designation. And so you can see here, recognized, exemplary, and master. And those different levels have different amounts of funding based upon the particular school where that teacher is teaching, the level of poverty at that school, as well as whether it's classified as rural or not. Once a teacher does earn that designation, it actually goes on their Texas teaching certificate, and it stays there for 5 years and follows them as long as they continue to be in a classroom teacher position. So there is a two-pronged process to this approval, the first of which is through the Texas Education Agency. We submitted our application after a lengthy period with a committee consisting primarily of teachers, where we designed what measures would be included for both teacher observation and student performance. And once they verified that our system met the requirements under the law, we then moved into the next phase. Now we're moving into phase 2 with the data review, where in partnership with Texas Tech University, we submit all of that student performance and teacher observation for a validation process to look at whether or not our system is accurate and reliably predicting these designations. So here in College Station ISD, we determined that we would have 2 factors in our system, both of which are required. Some districts do have other measures, but our committee determined to go with the 2. So for teachers in grades K through 8 who are teaching English language arts, math, and science, the teacher observation component would be aspects from T-tests at a weight of 50%, and then students fall to spring or beginning to end of year growth on math. Then for our early childhood teachers, the same, except for they would use their assessment circle, which you just heard Ms. Rice discuss. So I mentioned that timeline started back in 2020. That was really that development process with the committee that we talked about. That took quite some time. In April of 21 is when we submitted that initial phase of application to TEA, and we did receive notification in August of 21 that that was approved. Then throughout the last school year, 21-22, we collected that baseline data with both the teacher observation and student performance, and then have just recently submitted all of that information to TEA and Texas Tech University to validate our system. That has been submitted, and along with that comes a required fee structure of $500 per teacher that is being recommended for designation. Now, it is important to note that upon approval, which we would hope to receive in February of 23, we would get reimbursed for those fees. And then late spring, we actually received notification of those designated teachers and the specific amounts, because we will recalibrate the amounts based on campus levels of poverty. And then finally, what everyone is most interested in knowing, if our system is approved, those initial payouts would be received and distributed in August of 23, just before the next school year. So with that, we have submitted 179 teachers who would be eligible for a local designation if our system is fully approved. With that fee being $500 per teacher, that comes to just under $90,000. And again, upon approval, those fees would be reimbursed to the district. And with that, it is recommended that we approve the expenditure associated with these fees as our next step in the teacher incentive allotment.
So I was on this committee, and I can't believe we're here. I'm not going to lie, because it seems like so long ago. But I know this was a process too, based on the calendar. So first things first, on the August 23rd payout accordingly, is that lump sum to the teachers, those 179? 179? Okay. Is this also possibly a recruiting tool for us as a district going forward upon approval?
I think for any district that has a system approved, it is not only an aspect of recruitment, but also retention.
Okay, right, correct.
I move to approve as presented.
We have a motion by Mr. Hall, a second by Mr. Decker. Any further questions or
I do have another quick question. Well, 2 things. I mean, I would clarify, if it's not accepted, it implies that we would not get the reimbursement? Is that true?
We would not get the reimbursement until our system is accepted. And so if for some reason we are notified in February that our system is not accepted, we would work with the Texas Education Agency to determine what adjustments we might need to make to continue forward and seek approval.
Okay, great. Then I guess my other one is more long-term, is the next steps with the TIA, because I know, again, being on part of that committee, this was this first set of teachers was the first ones that were identified that had a way to measure, the performance and become part of the program, but it's not addressing all of our teachers out there, all of our educators. Can you just do real quickly, what's the future plans for the next, cohorts, next folks?
Absolutely. So in addition to what I mentioned regarding national board certification as a way to support teachers who are not currently included, it is absolutely our desire to design a system that ultimately includes all of our teachers from pre-K through grades 12. And we began those discussions actually back when we started that initial phase. And now that we have gotten this first cohort under our belts, so to speak, we're picking back up in those conversations about what other types of measures, when NWEA MAP is not available, can we use that would be acceptable as a valid and reliable measure of student performance in the system.
Are the 179, are those teachers aware of who they are? Have they been notified?
So we have been holding on specific notifications due to where we are in the approval process. Many of them are aware because they have been tracking. When a teacher is giving MAP at the beginning of the school year, they are able to access those reports and know exactly what the target is for each of their students to achieve in order to meet that growth status at the end of the year, and have done the calculations on their own. We are going to notify them, but we were just holding off a little longer as to not create confusion about where we are in the approval process.
Okay. And then, and I don't know if you can answer this question, is there concern that this state funding goes away at some point?
I think that's always a concern when you're talking about a state-funded initiative. I also know that, legislatively, this was something that was bipartisan as an effort as part of House Bill 3, and certainly the need to compensate teachers has not only not gone away, but has increased since that time.
Also, do you think maybe this committee will get back together, or you said y'all are starting some discussions, or what?
I would expect that it would be a smaller subcommittee that really focuses on those content areas and grade levels rather than a comprehensive district-wide committee to develop the system. We would be able to do an addendum to our system to add in those additional components.
Because I do think, it is a significant amount of money potentially, and I do think it is something that, fairness was always a question. So I do think after this first pass, I think it's something we need to be careful that, again, we try to make it available for as many teachers as possible in a fair and meaningful way, right? That was the whole goal. So thank you.
Anything else? In review, we had a motion by Mr. Hall, second by Mr. Decker. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
That will bring us to item K1. Consider award of a contract for upgrades to elementary and intermediate school security vestibules to Spall Glass Construction based on by board job order contract number 660-21 in the amount of $818,000 using either the School Safety Standards Formula Grant, 2021 bond funds, or a combination thereof. Mr. Martindale.
Thank you, Mr. Horak and board members. We have Mr. John Hall, our Executive Director of Facilities, here with additional details on this item. John?
Thank you, Mr. Martindale, Mr. Horak, members of the board. Back in November of 21, College Station ISD voters passed a bond issue for us for $78.125 million for renovations to district facilities and other items. And I just wanted to take a quick second to say thank you to the voters for supporting us and trusting us with those funds. One significant project or area that we identified for that bond planning was for district-wide safety improvements. The project I'm pitching past you tonight is the first significant piece of that safety improvements, specifically for the security vestibules at 9 of our elementary campuses and all 3 of our intermediate campuses. Due to the security sensitive nature of this project, we processed this one slightly differently than we normally do. We went through our design process basically the same way we always do. We did have VLK architects lead our design effort. We included our district safety coordinator, Tracy McClendon, and our director of technology, David Hutchison. So thank you all for the help on that design. Where we changed our process just a little bit is since this was security sensitive, we called in a couple of our trusted purchasing cooperative firms to come in and had individual meetings with them to go over all of the safety information on this. We didn't want to just put that out for public public consumption, so to speak. We wanted to keep that a little closer to the vest. So we had the meetings with Spall Glass Construction and Aggie Land Construction to review these drawings. They reviewed the process, reviewed the project, and gave us proposals. And the one who came in as the highest ranked proposal was Spall Glass Construction. They also had the lowest bid at $818,000. We did realize as we were getting close to putting this memo together too that we had an option that was developing for a second source of funding for this. That's why you see two different sources of funding for us tonight. One of them was the original that we identified. It was the 21 bond package, but also school safety standards formula grant that Mrs. Drozd is processing right now. So we wanted to keep that as an option for funding all or part of this project as well. We're trying to stretch those safety dollars just as far as we possibly can. So, and just briefly, I just wanted to mention the schedule as well for this. Assuming it passes tonight, we would be processing this starting over the Christmas break. And the majority of the work would happen over about the next 3 months, but we do have some long lead item electronic components to this as well. So we'll be waiting for those for probably until mid to late spring to get the rest of those, and then we'll be finishing up all of the project. We anticipate by the end of the spring semester. So with all of that said, it's recommended that the College Station Independent School District Board of Trustees consider award of a contract for upgrades to elementary and intermediate school security vestibules to Spall Glass Construction in the amount of $818,000 using either the School Safety Standards Formula Grant, 2021 bond funds, or a combination thereof. And with that, I'd love to answer any questions you might have.
I'd move to accept as presented.
We have a motion by Mr. Ben, second by Dr. Payne. Any further discussion?
So are there plans to do the same for the middle schools and high schools eventually?
Yes, there are. We wanted to focus on the elementaries and intermediates first because those specific campuses don't have a school resource deputy assigned to them. So we were going to get them knocked out as quickly as we could, but we will be following this up soon with the middle schools and high schools.
Thank you.
If there's no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Hall. That'll bring us to item L, executive session. The board will meet in executive session to conduct a closed meeting to deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property because the deliberation in an open meeting would have detrimental effect on the position of the district in negotiations with a third party. Executive session deliberations will be held pursuant to the deliberation regarding real property closed meeting. Exception to the Texas Open Meetings Act is set forth in section 551.0742 of the Texas Governmental Code. Appreciate y'all being here. Hopefully you're here when we get back. Wow, we have people here.
Sorry, I told Ms. Benden they're setting up for tomorrow morning in Grant Patrol.
hanging
So
out. That's
I
awesome.
told them you can go happily. Look, I told her 2 rows of chairs. There they are. Right there. Perfectly.
All right, that'll bring us back to open session item M1.
I move to approve the resolution as presented for the approval of the assignment and assumption of a contract to purchase approximately 60 acres of real property located at 2441 Arrington Road and a portion of 2327 Arrington Road, College Station, Texas.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Hall, a second by Dr. Payne. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0, and that will adjourn us for tonight.